Hey everybody, it is Steve Olsen, WSO, and I have special guest Bruce Swartz from Bruce Steve's All channel. Bruce, how are you?
Nice. Not bad. How are you, Steve?
Doing wonderful, man. It's been a couple of weeks since we last talked, and it's time for us to catch up with Bruce and see what you're up to lately, brother.
Hey, man, I'm so happy you did. It's been such a while and great videos. You see, you're probably doing like me. I do my work and I jump to your channel. I check the videos. I do my work. I jump to the channel, check the video. But so much is going on. I've not been lucky with the sky, bro. Boy, it's been so bad. Brand new telescope, 20 minutes of footage. That's all I got. But you know what? In 20 minutes of footage, we got what we needed to be able to go get more footage and to keep us till the next month because we got UFOs. We got unidentified objects on the surface of the moon. And I don't know whether they're creatures or whether they're UFOs or whether they're humans driving around in them. I'm just saying what I saw, and it's objects flying around. I don't think it's dust because they are going. I'll play this while we're talking. Sorry,
Not at all.
I don't want to have the volume. I want to actually hold on. Sorry, Steve. I'm going to mute the volume. There we go. Can you still hear me?
I can.
And now, Steve?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I don't want the volume playing on this video. I don't know why it's playing.
Well, you could hit that if you hit your little speaker button on the far left there. It might mute it out.
No, I'm trying to, and that's 100%. I'm trying.
We're having the techno gremlins are attacking as we try to look at aliens on the moon, I guess.
Yeah, again. And like
right.
One last test. I'm going to put this down. Steve, are you there?
I am. I'm totally here. Okay.
I think we got it. So, hey, I was just teasing Steve. No, I wasn't.
I am too. I'm just teasing too.
Okay. So again, I'm going to play the video while I'm talking. This is Copernicus. I have to say Copernicus. I used to say Copernicus, but anyway, the Copernicus crater. There's a light coming out of it, and you're going to see here. I'll slow it down. It's in this hole right here. Can you see my arrow, brother?
Yes.
Okay, it's in this. There it is right here. It came out. I'll play it again. It'll go by 3 or 4 times. These are not things that are easy and very evident to see because they're going by ever so quickly. This is a real close-up into some holes around Copernicus. And right here, this hole in the corner, UFO there it is, came out, a light, whether it be, I don't think it was a puff of smoke. I think it was more of some kind of object, like this one here. We're over Plato Crater. And Steve, it looks like some kind of a smoke on the surface. It doesn't mean it's cloud cover, right? But it could be cloud cover. I'm not positive. But,
yeah, I've talked about that. The moon has been forming an atmosphere.
Yeah, well, see, this is what I'm thinking, these white areas that we're seeing, like here going on the screen, it's not always pleasant, eh? This is what I'm realizing, that when you're close up looking into clouds, it really looks bad. And we're sort of expecting to see I guess a castle on top of a mountain. And I mean, it's real. So we have to break through some kind of a disturbance, I imagine, to be able to get to the surface. But when you look further out, we're going to go here. The colors that are here, Mons Argaeus, Mare Serenitatis. These are where, Steve, this is where I'm seeing the crafts go by. I'm not seeing them in areas where craters are hard to get to. They're over Copernicus, they're over Plato Crater, they're flying over this area too, Mare Serenitatis. And like I said, this here could be cloud cover. And watch, Steve, what we're coming up to. I'm going to let it play just quickly. You can talk or anything if you want. I know I got a big mouth, you know how I am.
This is just remarkable footage, and I'm just
look at this, brother. Yeah, thanks. See this? I'm going to back it up and just pause it as we're coming down again. Whoop, a bit too far. Let's go a bit ahead.
Oh gosh.
Right there. This is Montes Apenninus, the Apennine Mountains. And this thing. There we go. And we could see down here, I'll move over. Down here, there's a pipe. but behind it, well, there's an object, a symmetrical object that's coming out, standing up, but there's this line that goes to this other little light that oscillates. And this is in the Apennine Mountains. And you can see also to the right of it where that object is, like in the little holes and crevices as you're going all along, there's other objects, just curious objects that you see. But this is an object that ever since I've been up there, I've been seeing. This is a Eratosthenes crater right here. So I'm not hiding it. It's all these craters that astronomers are looking at. This is that was close footage. You see how it's not always pleasant looking at it, right? Do you see this object, Steve? It
Yes.
pops out. It's an actual gigantic towering object right here. And we don't see them. And it's at the bottom of Mare Serenitatis. But it is so large and it just comes out. So these are, this is what I do. I try to find objects as I'm looking through the footage, The UFO, the best I can do, and it's very sad to say, Steve, this is what it is. I don't know if you can see inside of this photo. You could see a very vague, it's a black circle, and around it, several layers of certain fields could be, or whatever. And it's just, all the lights around it is not, it's an effect. The center is the color and the sphere of what I'm getting it.
Right.
It's black, and I get the blue, of course, the spectrum of light, like the rainbow. But this one was a larger craft, and it's one of the ones like I imagine Crow 777 is getting, the nice ones that we see go by in the footage. Because the ones I got in this footage, bro, is footage that you can't see with the footage. You need a magnifying lens, and it has to be slowed down. There's no way in heck I would have ever seen these objects. That's for sure. Here again, some more objects we'll see here flying by. Oh yeah, I want to show you this too. This is pretty, bro. This impressed me a lot. Here in the bottom, I got the star up there. I'm gonna pause it right there.
Yeah, so
right here,
at the surface of the moon and this huge bright light in the lower hand left corner.
Yeah, no, well, I just got this. I put up that star there.
Okay.
The star you just saw, the big star. Sorry, Steve. Yeah, very important to say. I just pointed the star on the object that is right here. I'll move everything over. You'll see right here. And this object, I want you to notice at the bottom of it, there is a cable, pipe, or something, and you'll see it very well. Oh, there you go. You don't see it very well, do you? Can you see how it's at the bottom of that structure? It is a structure. There's a white thin line that's connected to the facade of it going all the way to the left. And you can see it really from here to here underneath it, right there.
Yeah.
It might be hard to see on that one. Like I can get a bit further.
Yeah, let's just if you get the line out, just let the lines go out for a second. Just let us look at the image. There we go.
Oh my goodness.
Stop moving for just a second, and so we can just look in that lower left corner.
There we go.
Like a huge opening as well on the lower, like a multi-level, like.
There you go. You start, yeah, exactly. And that sort of golf course sort of thing that's going on in the front of it. I call it the golf course with the blue line coming down.
Right, and then you also it looks like it almost looks like what we would see from like a balloon that we fly, right? Getting up to 90,000 feet. What the Earth
absolutely. But check at the top where I said that sort of the blue stemmed mushroom with the green head, where I just said the sort of golf course. Look what's going across it on the very top of where the rounded edge is, which is at the bottom of the structure. There is an entire line going all the way in front of the building, all the way down, running off to the next light that's in the bottom corner under my name's SW, Swartz.
Yes, I see that line going there through from it, and it's kind of a 45-degree line on the pit.
It's very faint. I know it looks very faint, and it always does look very faint, but it's always
that white little dot in the middle of a square right above that with a shadow.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Let's see if we can go. Okay. I don't want to see this. There we go. Can we get another angle of it? It won't be long. We'll go back to the angle. This is something else, Steve. Look what this one's doing. You see little black objects coming out and white objects around it. At one point, you'll see it, and you should there. It's not much. It's far away there. again, spurts, like big sporadic spurts of lights, little flickering lights. This was my best shot, bro. I have to show it to you. There's 5 in a row. They're going all towards the left, okay? Towards Oceanus Procellarum. They're over Archimedes crater right now. This is where we are. And they're all going to the left. Here's a smaller one on the surface. So there's not one of them that looked the same. They all have their own size and shape, and they seem to be doing their own little thing. Some people ask me, it could be space debris. Yes, it could be. Some of it could be. But the ones going left and right and changing direction, there's the building again. The ones changing
around like a tadpole, kind of almost like.
Exactly. They look like jellyfish. They really do look like jellyfish. This is Copernicus. Little objects that I'm showing around Copernicus. Eratosthenes crater on the top right. Between those two areas, there's the building. You see it a lot better here, the structuring. And we can see it right there. And look to the back. You can see it's multiple layering. It really is not pixels. And you can see it well enough. It's aggravating because it's white, right? We can see it. It's affecting our eyes. And we wish there could be color in it, but that's the point. By not putting, look at this inversion.
And
at the bottom.
A little segue for those of you who are new to, Bruce comes on our show regularly, and we look at these bizarre pictures of the moon. Tonight I want to open up a discussion once we're done looking at your footage about a couple of questions I have for you, Bruce. But
absolutely.
So the technique that Bruce uses, just pause for a second, Bruce, and I'll explain. He actually,
I'm going to show you this. Go ahead, Steve.
No, and tell me if I get this wrong. Bruce has perfected the technique where he follows the line of the darkness and the light on the moon. And that's how he's able to delineate levels of color and not just get whited out. And so this is a very, very tricky procedure he does. It's not very easy to do with a big telescope that he uses. And so basically he's right on the edge line between dark and light, and that brings out the color, the actual colors of the moon. And
exactly. That's exactly what's going on. That's exactly it, Steve.
And so look here. This is a technique that Bruce perfected, and this is why we're getting this amazing footage. So Bruce, go ahead, please. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry, man. I'm so every time I see you, I just empty out all my information for you, into you, so that you know what's going on, because I know you're seeing a lot too. I'm gonna move this line down.
We're trying to get pieces of the puzzle together, right? The big picture. If you step back from this for a second, right? So we've heard rumors, and we've heard whisperings, and we've heard that kind of clandestine talk that that maybe the moon was at one time occupied, or maybe is occupied, and you hear these rumors out there, and that maybe the moon isn't what we think it is. And, the stories of maybe the moon wasn't always in orbit around the Earth, and that maybe its nature and its composition and things aren't what we think it is. And, you just, if you're in the kind of what I call the truth conspiratorium, if you will, everybody hears about this stuff. I mean, we all have heard David Icke talk about the moon and so forth. But then I get a creator like you, a creative guy, super smart, but just a normal old, we're just normal dudes, right? I mean, you're a man from Canada, I'm a man from Northern United States. We would sit down and have a meal together. We wouldn't know anything different. If we didn't get exposed to this stuff, we'd just be your normal guy, right?
Right. That's right, bro.
You self-learn astronomy, and then you perfect the technique, just like an entrepreneur and inventor would do. And you've been capturing footage that seems to validate some of the most bizarre conspiracy theories about the moon.
It's that crazy.
It's that crazy. I mean, I remember last time we were together, we were looking at the 40-kilometer bridge, right? Go back and watch that one, guys.
Yeah, the NG crater. That's right.
Right. And here now we're looking at what looks to be a huge complex of some sort. Now, could we be reading into it? No, because I don't want that to be there. I want the moon to be a planetary body per Carl Sagan and the cosmos. That's what I want.
Exactly. And analyzing just this photo, I've seen over 50 points that are very alarming, that I could show you 2 or 3 just now. And I bet you didn't even notice it, because I didn't notice it myself till last week. I'll get the line back down, but just to show you over here, right here. Can you see the arrow, bro?
Yeah, it's like a huge chevron. I can see it. Yes, I did see that, by the way.
Yeah. Look, yeah, you're like me. You see everything too, because at one point we start. This is a square here, and this object is always there. It's pink. I've seen it even with my 4-inch telescope, and this object, I recognize it, and now this scared me because this is the exact object that is in Bianchini crater. The hole, the surrounding white object with the pipe. So every area has certain objects that are, I get chills just saying
Well,
that because
so now you have a pattern. This is interesting, Bruce, because this is the first time you've mentioned a pattern like that. So this is
it
the
is
first time where you've seen a pattern of almost like a similar construction technique or maybe purpose of.
absolutely. And look what's going on here. It's so developed. And your eye, I bet you, oh yeah, your eyes are adapted now. Now watch this. We're going to go at the bottom where we were talking about the structure. We're talking about the 45-degree line, like you said. Now you're going to look underneath it in the gray. You're going to see hundreds of tunnels. And I'm not kidding you, right here under the structure, I'll move the line. They're all there. They're gray. They're overlapping and they're like tunnels. And you can see it as it descends, it continues downwards. Over to the right, well, you got all the white layers. And those layers remind me of sinus iridum, where I said that they were slides. The first term that I used, I said they look like slides. And it's right here. 1, 2, these are like slabs. I'll move it over and you see everything's going this way, this direction.
Right.
Everything's going this direction. So there's also probably some cloud in that, and you could just see it on the surface. But now look at this pipe, Steve. Right here. Oh, the darn. Right here, I'll move the line. Look at the pipe that's under there. It's scary. Whatever it may be, it is symmetrical. That line that's there, and it's connected to sideways. So I believe that these are long corridors to be able to either send liquids through it or to send someone through it. It's not exaggerated thinking that, because I do believe they're constructed. They're not ejecta. They are not ejecta.
And the more you look at this, it's almost like you see the patterns, and it's like it reminds me of like in some ways of the Mayan ruins. I'm still on the left-hand side structure yet.
No, yeah, absolutely, it does, and it does. It really does, and that big black line. Say to yourself, we're looking at exactly. I'll tell you right now, that line that we're looking at on the left, the black one, would be at least, and I'm not mistaken because I know Copernicus, they're talking about 84, 86 kilometers diameter. So this would be about 30 to 35 diameters. And it is cut off at the end of the photo, but it doesn't continue that long. It's basically finishes there. And inside of it, again, what seems like objects, they're just always objects and objects, right? And they're so curious, but I mean, if NASA would have told us that there were objects on the moon, people would not have been this curious. But it's impossible to me that NASA, respect to everyone that worked there, would not take at least one photo of an anomaly or an area that, oh, look at these rocks, hundreds of colors on it. And
not only that, but they've had telescopes much larger and much more sophisticated, even in, like, you could go back to the 30s, and they
absolutely.
had much larger than a 14-inch telescope looking at the moon. And I know for a fact that they were able to see these things. The question is, why has there been a cover up? We had we had a full survey of the moon prior to us sending up our first Apollo
right
stuff, and that's where they did high resolution photography of the surface of the moon, or at that time high resolution, right? So
right.
And I know for a fact that we've seen the photographs coming out of NASA that are doctored and touched up and so forth. So all this does, basically what you're doing is you're giving us real-time confirmation that it's still there.
Exactly, and using regular tools, well, that's why maybe it's not so hi-fi, it's not so awesome, because I'm just up in contrast. I'm getting the details to come out. I'm not and this isn't hue. This is not added hue. So the yellow that's there in the inversion, well, you come to know that I know on the moon, this yellow is the white. The white is always very yellow. But here's the thing, Steve. When you take a cloud and you do inversion with it, it's not yellow. It's purplish.
Right. That's right. When you invert it, it's purplish. That's right.
Right.
Um,
So there's some areas that are purple on the moon when you look at it. You see the photo changing? That the whole sort of looks like the longer you stay on it, it's like me. The moon is what mesmerizes me the most, and it scares me so much because sometimes you look at a crater and it looks like it's inverted, and sometimes it looks like a mound.
but the size of these geometric structures and things that we look at anyway are just, it's mind-boggling, right? We're talking about 10, 15, 20 kilometers in width.
Yeah,
Like,
you're right on it. You're right on it. I've seen up to 30 and 40.
you
I
know,
think the longest 50, and that's incredible. That's two towns.
it makes you wonder, like, who was inhabiting these structures or inhabit them? Are they giant people or something? Your mind, your imagination, if you're a person of science fiction like me and you, both you and I are both geeks, right?
That's right. But it makes you wonder, Steve, and the Giants are always on the tip of my mind. I don't rule it out. I never just say, oh, well, it's Giants. And look at this shot, bro.
If you're going to be logical, oh my gosh, I know, right? Look at this, the top of that, the blue. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. But now here's the thing. Look at this photo. This is a different photo, but we're further out. But do you notice that every single little object that was in the other photo is still there?
Right.
Everything's still there.
Yeah, I can still clearly see the structure on the left. I can still faintly make out all those. Oh my gosh! But anyway,
Yeah.
one of the things I notice about the moon, and this is kind of drawn on my David Icke, listening. Again, I don't agree with everybody 100%. I listen to everybody.
Yeah, same.
I take what makes sense to me, and if I don't understand what they're saying, I give them the benefit of the doubt and I just move on, right?
That's
So,
right.
so in the case of the idea that Saturn is actually or not Saturn, but the moon is actually maybe some type of a battle station or some type of right? I mean, crazy science fiction, Isaac Asimov, like way out there stuff, right?
That's
But
right.
then I'm forced to, because of what you're doing, we're forced to look at this kind of squarely in the eye and just kind of deal with it. The second thing you notice about the moon is, and again, this just kind of rang out as I was watching your images today, is the depth of all the craters is the same.
Yes, it's scary. Then listen, I don't see a crater. I see walls.
What I'm seeing is battle damage.
Yeah, yes. There are
Somebody
many
tried to
areas.
take this thing out.
Darn right. I believe there are areas on the moon that were hit for sure because some of the areas are entirely broken up. Sorry, this is a
And
star.
again, I'm being really crazy and really my brain's falling out of my ear kind of level of open-mindedness. But
Yeah.
when I think about it, when I look at that, that's what it looked like. It looked like a big battle station or a big complex, and it was attacked. That's what it
Oh,
was.
absolutely. Absolutely. There's definitely some areas. I'm almost pretty sure there has to be some areas that could have had some
By the way,
hits.
there's a lot of my subscribers that will say, "Well, Steve, you argue that at times the moon might be a simulated moon and stuff like that." Guys, I haven't reconciled it with what Bruce finds. So the answer is I still haven't figured out and reconciled a lot of the ideas I have. But when I look at what Bruce provides, it just every time makes my jaw drop. What are we looking at here?
This is, if it's not a motor in a car or a Harley or something, it really does look like it. And the piping of it is absolutely amazing. This is on the surface of the moon, inside of a crater, an Oceanus Procellarum, just sitting there in a small area, but all these connected areas, objects are there. And when I see this, when I see lines more than five, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's something there. Now, here's the thing. Because of, get this, buddy, because of the cloud cover or smoke that's over these objects, some of these objects look crooked. They're not, because the camera actually got a part of the cloud over it. So say to yourself, some of these objects aren't as squiggly as you think. Like this one here that looks like it's a bit
I mean,
squiggly.
look. You don't have to be an apologist for the squiggly line heat signature, whatever we're looking at there. Look at what we're looking at. We're looking at a Volkswagen engine up on the freaking moon.
It's amazing when you think of it, you know, and they're passing off as pixels. How can they? The complexity in it, you really see that you don't have to exaggerate and say things are connected.
Is this a
Look,
benefit of
they
the
are.
14-inch telescope, by the way? Are we seeing 14-inch telescope footage here?
This 4-inch, this is a photo with my 4-inch telescope that I got, and I got so far the most amazing. What we just saw, thanks for mentioning it, Copernicus, all the surface in that structure was the first attempt to clarify the structure, the surface with my 14-inch, and that was day one, first footage, and that was the first snapshot that I actually took outside. I took 7 shots of Copernicus. The colors are not at all in these photos when I take them, Steve. When you look at the photos, you enhance them. When you enhance it a second time and a third time, they get over enhanced. So you throw away the rest of the photo and you show the beautiful area that was held. And I'll zoom up on it and make an entire frame of it. And that's all I'm doing. There's no trickery or anything in it. So these are with the 4-inch. And this too with the 4-inch. There's your bridge, bro.
Hey, there's the bridge. Yes, gosh, that's even more clear than the last time you showed it to me, Bruce.
Yes, and I do it every time. I try to get them a bit more clear. So people are like, same stuff, you're posting the same stuff. No, I'm not. Look, it's clear because now we can see these beautiful little anomalies that are lying on top. You must remember, I mean, a year ago, Steve, I was saying there's this smudging on the structures. It looks like dirt that was placed there. I'll say, like you said, I'm always changing my what I think
footage. This footage is, listen, this is paradigm shattering footage. This shatters the paradigm of the moon. I mean, you do understand that, right, Swartz?
Absolutely. And here, see, there's a left, and this is moving right, the shot right, and it's incredible. These are connections. So get this.
It's like the capital city of the moon or something, you know?
Yeah, well, exactly. And I thought these were structures. They could be. But when I realized that there were structures on what I thought were structures, oh boy. So in this area, there's thousands of structures, but it's only a dime in a close 11-inch footage. Even 8, 11 inches, this is very small, like a dime. So now the whole page is bigger. And of course, with the haze and with, honestly, I don't think even after stretching it out that it's that bad. It looks good as heck. We can see so much detail in these photos. It's incredible. Here, Bianchini. It drives me mad. So this bridge that we just saw, brother, is connected to the ejecta in Bianchini crater at the bottom. This is Bianchini right here. And look at the straight edge. Just even this. It boggles my mind that it can be there. And here, this straight edge. This is at least, again, like you said, 15 to 18 kilometers because of so long the diameter of Bianchini. It's incredible. It's all there. And these little black bumps there are actually structures or objects. But it's structuring. When I say structures, it doesn't mean a building. It is a structured object that was formed to do whatever they're doing with it. I don't know.
No,
maybe it's abandoned. It could be, but I don't know. It's scary.
Well, one thing that we haven't seen in our journey with you here, right? We haven't been able to make out like humanoids or anything like that. It's always been just the objects, or we'll see those squiggly, like you were talking about, the tadpole squid type thing.
Exactly.
What appear to be spacecraft.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I'm sorry, dude. I can't believe that these words are coming out of my mouth all the time, right? I mean, dude,
no, but seriously,
did you ever see yourself saying or thinking the things that you're seeing or saying 10 years ago, Bruce?
Did what? Sorry, Steve?
Did you ever see yourself, like 10 years ago, did you see yourself ever saying the things or seeing?
No, I would not. Listen, somebody would have told me, but here's the thing. Hearing it, I probably would have laughed at them. But seeing a photo for me, it means everything. And understanding a photo a little bit, when you start understanding what photos do and what a camera does and how it picks up photos, uh, so long which light you're integrating into the lens, and it takes a while, but then you start looking at these photos and you go, oh my goodness, this is real. And then I got scared because I went back and I got the bridge again. So at the step that we're at, we're missing that one step of a zoom. But I think it's something that we're not understanding. It's not the same kind of zoom you want to do, because you have seen there's other channels that are even closer than me. They're right in the surface, but they're looking at a smudge. You have to get the focus of that
You
object you're
almost
moving in
have to
on.
be not only focused, but when you're riding an edge, well, like literally an edge that's while the moon is moving, right? You're
Yeah,
trying to follow that really, really fine edge, and you're trying to time it in such a way that that light, this the diffusion that you're looking for at that line is perfect, so that it's not washed out from the light of the quote unquote sun, right?
well, so yeah, absolutely,
And
absolutely.
that's
Yeah.
what that's where most other guys, they'll still get some amazing footage, but they're going straight into the main light, right?
There you go.
Right
No,
is
and it really is that what you just said. It's exactly that. It's understanding it. So yes, we have to get in close, but we have to get in close to a focused object, because just getting in close, well, now you're going to get the surface of the light, and it's going to look like my UFO videos
right.
in
So
the
it's
clouds.
gonna wash out, right? It's gonna wash out.
Yeah, right in the clouds. Steve, what is this on the bottom? This, man, it freaks me out because these look like giant slabs or plates that formed an area with a massive hole of something that would probably go in and out of the ground.
Yeah, it almost looks like some kind of a ship or something.
It does. It's incredible. Oops, sorry. It's incredible.
Again,
And
I'm
look at
just
it.
flipping out. This is the best that you've ever brought to WSO, and you're just getting better and better at this
Oh,
technique.
bro, I haven't posted these. This is brand new, brand new, brand new clarified. I keep them for your show, absolutely, and for my videos. But when I show you something, I always go and do an extra editing. So it's often,
Bruce, you got to keep safe. You got to stay safe, man. This is caustic. This
it's
changes
it's
everything.
scary stuff, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just getting this out is scary stuff. And you know what? When somebody told me, when I read this, and you did probably too, they say, maybe it's a rumor, but the elites would never even think that anybody could be able to tell the truth even after seeing it, because the truth is just so out of this world. And
Well,
because it's true. I'm trying to tell people, I found structures, and now I'm taking a pump like, no, actually, hold on. There's smaller structures on it. Oh, now there's UFOs going by the bloody, clouds. I got clouds. I don't know where to throw myself, because
I know, right?
they're all coming up, but they're laughing because they're probably, so this is only the tip of the iceberg. So once we know everything's up there, we'll never know what's going on. And then that'll be another. So they have a good 15 years, I think, 5 years or something, until I get a 55-inch scope. Oh gosh, bro. I'm buying lottery tickets just so that I can buy a big telescope for my retirement. I
No,
think that's what I'm doing.
again, don't despise small beginnings, man. I mean, I think, but again, what we're trying to do, Bruce, and I think this is worthy of just mentioning this to our subscribers.
Yeah,
We're all about we're just in that one small. I see us as one small piece of what I'm starting to refer to as the truth conspiratorium, right? And all
right.
of these things seem to be connected, right? I mean, I could connect what you're seeing here to JFK's speech in 1961. I could connect what
Yeah,
you're seeing here to World War II. I could connect this to, to the elites and their secret knowledge and their mystery schools and all the stuff that that we've heard over the years, right? And
absolutely,
so it's
Steve.
not just us seeing stuff on the moon. It's like, okay, we're seeing stuff on the moon, but what does that mean? What are the implications of this? This is groundbreaking stuff. And
It's incredible, and just what you said, and it hits me every day, bit by bit, and it's like I'm going through organization by organization. I wake up one day and I say, I imagine the religions. And then the next day it's not the religions. Then I'm imagining the investors that invested for NASA, for NASA finding this out. I mean, we would see hitmen driving black trucks in every country, okay, doing hits left and right. This would be like a sort of, these things that happen every 100 years, that you see 20 or 30 people die in the governments, and there's this big I don't know, you know what I mean. This is
Well, again, let's go through some of the possibilities of this, explaining this stuff, right? So one of the theories that I've always kind of adhered to is that this isn't alien at all. This is human technology. It's
scary,
human
right?
that was, but it happened in previous epochs. So looking
Yeah.
at Graham Hancock and Randall Gordon rather,
Hmm.
they talk about like that our technology prior to the last cataclysm, which they estimate to be about 11,000 years ago, 12,000 years ago,
Yeah.
was that the technology of the human species was even greater than what we have now. So that's their theory, okay,
Yeah.
right? So prior to that cataclysm, the human race, I keep saying race, but I mean the human species was
Yeah.
far more technologically advanced than we ever gave it credit for, and that could be one of their construction projects that we're looking at, right?
Absolutely. It's hard to say the whole story, eh? Isn't it incredible? We're talking about a 16-part, 3-hour a piece video, okay, of in-depth details on how, before even showing any structures of the moon. I mean, we could go through 8 movies to explain all the hits and all the ceremonies and funerals and whatever could have happened. And it's incredible when you think of the beginning of this, because like me, Steve, it can go 30 different ways. It could be based on what you just said, but it could turn, it's always that major key point, that major factor that we can't necessarily know about, that is so intriguing to me.
Well, and then
And
there's the other part of your research, which is the most disturbing part, the one that evokes the most cognitive dissonance in me, and that is, I have to come to the grips that everything that I've been told about the moon could be a lie,
yeah,
and that's hard. That's hard to get over, man. I mean, this is what we made our childhood rhymes about. I grew up in the Apollo era. I grew up in, space
yeah,
and America and God bless America, blah, 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 right?
it's
And
incredible.
I really hook, line, and sinker bought into that, right?
It's
And
scary.
and then to come face to face with irrefutable photographic evidence that what they told us about this object in our sky is nothing what it is. It really can throw you for a loop, bro.
No, it's you said it. You said a lot today. A lot of good information and real factual information, man. And that's just how it is. This is sinus irritum, buddy. Bianchini craters just over here. You can see just the tip right here. So see, Steve, see how small Bianchini is on this photo that's zoomed? Bianchini is small. And we were showing it right here. There's Bianchini right now. It's 20 times bigger than, honestly, NASA's never showed it this big. Nah, never. I've never seen anyone show it this big, unless it was blurry. And I'm not saying it to be, you know, I regret calling myself Bruce Sees-All, man. I wanted to have a nice, catchy name, and I want people to understand that I'm a human and that I'm not smarter than anyone. But the proof that I have, by chance, I was able to find the real truth without knowing what it is. And
Well,
this
what
is
happened was you
so
started to
scary.
develop, I think what it was is you were trying to figure out a way that you could express that I'm seeing it all because of the way I'm coming at this thing. I've never seen anybody else come at it this way. And it's allowing me to see things that other people just don't see.
Exactly, exactly. But hey, see the layers there? Tell me you can't see the hole right here on the
Dude,
bottom.
that looks
There's
like a damn carport, man. It's like the Buick's going to
yeah,
pull out of there any minute.
yeah. And look at this nice one. Look at the bent object here. So this would have been brought there, man. This humongous object, or like us, you have people right here, tiny people that are going and they're doing all this, and the UFOs are bringing
It's
more
the
stuff.
moon's largest water park.
Hey, no, seriously, does it ever look like it, eh? Here's the pool. Here's the pool area here.
The wave
Now,
pool. Yeah, that's the wave pool, and then we got
you're looking at you're looking at something right now that not many people have seen. And watch this. This object here, and this straight at the back. I don't know if it's a hole or an entrance or something. And here too, there's that entrance down here. Again, like I showed you at Bianchini Crate. Hey, you know what, bro? We could see it right here. There's Bianchini with the city. Right there.
Yeah, with this and what Bruce is pointing out, that's where we were looking at in the beginning of the video.
That's right here.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the bridge. So the bridge is right here. This is sinus iridum, the apple bite, and it's at the end right there, this spot. It's all in that little area. So sinus iridum is, this whole picture is this size usually. So Bianchini would be only like that. So we wouldn't see it. You have to really get in to be able to see them. But when you do, it is scary as heck. Look at this. The colors, I mean, seriously. Purple or blue, and here the gray, light gray, whiter, every shades of gray. That's what we're looking at.
I know. It looks like I'm looking at an office complex from,
Of course. Yeah.
and
see how straight this is?
Yeah.
That's incredible. It's too much, man.
It is.
This is too much. And you know what? I almost got caught because this here on the bottom, I agreed with people when they told me it was pixelation. And then I zoomed in and I zoomed in and I zoomed in and I said, wait a minute, how can a pixel that was there last month be there again? It ain't a pixel, it's the size of Hong Kong. It's humongous if we're seeing it. And here, see at the bottom of the bridge, bro, this is we didn't see it in the other one. Look at the mechanism. It's going underneath the bridge here. There's other lights. 1, 2, 3 there, stepping down there. I mean, it is incredible. It's incredible seeing that.
It is.
Look at that. I'm starting to get scared. I mean, this is Bianchini.
I'm getting a little bit freaked out right now, man.
Look at this. Could these be crafts, man? I mean, objects we're seeing here. And look at the outlining of it. You know what it looks like? You know, a circuit board too inside of a computer, but has certain chips that were formed a certain way to fit inside of something, you know? And you have all these connections and chips. And I see these things moving up and down in my head. I see them interlocking. Like, say this big plate right here, if it could move over just a little bit and connect to this one, well, maybe that will move all the back of the crater. I mean, it could be anything. It could be the moon could be like a Venus flytrap, man. I wouldn't step my foot on there, boy. I tell you that.
Oh,
I would.
Yeah.
I'd throw some rocks and be sure that nothing comes up from the surface.
Could you go back to the big bridge one last time? I just want to look at it one more time.
No, with pleasure, man.
Oh, look at that bridge.
I mean, seriously. How? I mean, okay. How bad? I mean, how could somebody think that that's not a real bridge? And look at this. What is this? Here at the end, look at the connections. It goes 1, 2, 3 objects. Then this goes back here. It descends here straight down, or however it's connected. Everything's there. So this big scary hole with the supposed spaceship, bro, is right down here at the bottom here, in the other part of the photo. Underneath, greenery too, colors. It's all there. I mean, how can it not? So here I'm counting, Steve. The other day I'm going, wow, I can't get over it. There must be at least 75 structures here. And
well, the other thing that you keep freaking out on, and I keep freaking out on, is we're freaking out together here tonight. Everyone here, Bruce and Steve, Olsen here, WSO, Bruce sees all YouTube channel, and plus I'll have his link to his website. Bruce has been taking a little bit of heat, and you know, all of us have been in the conspiratorium, I call it. And you know, and so Bruce is no exception. So you want to make sure that you make a note of his website and save that in your saved bookmark, so you can get to him when if and when they shut him down. This is really bad
Right.
stuff, man.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There's just getting that out there in case, because yeah, it's coming fast, I think. And here, I mean, I can't get over it. This beautiful shot.
It really
It's
is. It really is.
yeah,
Gosh.
and you can see that the symmetricalness of it, you know, symmetricalness of it. Hey, I mean, it's incredible. So the bridges, man, they do it with this color. So right here in this crap, excuse the expression, it looks horrible, I know it, but it's perfect. Because in here, do you agree with me? If an entire building crashes and burns, we ain't gonna see it. It's just garbage, you know? But if this bridge falls,
From the moon.
okay,
Ooh, Lisa.
man,
It's
could
freaking
you
out.
imagine a 60-kilometer bridge falling on the moon? Blah, dang, the smoke that would come up from the surface of the moon, I bet you, I guarantee you, we'd see a plume like an atomic bomb. 3 towns. My town's 20 kilometers. The one in Valleyfield here is 20 also, and St. Timothy's 15 kilometers. I mean, and that's 60 kilometers here. I can't imagine a bridge from here to there. And now look how wide this sucker is. Well, so along the diameters of Bianchini crater, we are looking at a 6-mile wide bridge.
Wow, this goes back to the whole giant thing again. I just can't help it. My mind just keeps going back to,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
big secret about giants. And, this big secret, again, part of the conspiratorium. There are people that have done huge research in this area that are just very smart, right?
it's so
And
interesting.
and talking about creatures that are 35, 40 feet tall, Mud Fossil University is one that talks about creatures that are so huge that they take up the landscape. And
That's
and you just and the first time you hear that, guys, I get this, right? The first time you ever hear this, because the ancient scriptures talk about giants openly. I mean, they're just like an open subject. But
I'm gonna dream tonight.
you're gonna dream tonight. You just got me intrigued, so I want to hear what you had to say. You're gonna have a dream tonight.
Yeah. I mean, what if we're living on a head, man? A giant head.
Or ticks.
That was
Listen,
basically what we would be now, wouldn't it?
yeah, well, I'm laughing, but I'm sort of laughing while looking out the window, sort of thing. You know, it's funny, but it's like, yeah, it's funny, funny.
Yeah,
It,
laughing through the graveyard kind of thing, right?
yeah, exactly. But yeah, the giant thing. That, oh my gosh,
I
it's
mean,
incredible.
again, it's linked. Everything seems to link to this map of what we call the map or the conspiratorium. It's all in, and this is maybe where we can start to bring it to an end, because I know we've got a good enough of footage to get us, definitely in trouble here, Bruce.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, what if these are tombstones? Ancient
It could be
burials.
just a huge graveyard, right? Just a huge sacred graveyard. Who knows?
It's so intriguing. I mean,
But the thing that I hate is that they've never even given us a chance to have this discussion as part of a human species and a human collective. We've never had a chance to have these discussions in school or debate this in college, or you know what I mean? Or it's the truth has been taken from us. That's what I feel.
absolutely, and it probably would have made a lot of good little scientists and curious people that wanted to help advance and to learn. Imagine learning about another world. Imagine learning about another species that have other desires and came and were created by another different way than us, or maybe possibly like us. It's endless.
Just
I
the
mean,
archaeological component of this, right? It would have changed the whole. It would have changed the whole calculus of going to the moon, right? I mean, people would
abs-
need to know what this stuff is, right? I mean, and
abs-
you know,
look at that. You're getting close, like, damn. It's like we're getting closer there, Steve.
you know, right? That now it looks like an X-wing fighter. No, the thing it's like no, it looks like a three-dimensional object sitting in some type of a bay.
It's incredible. It's incredible right here, all this. And then you see this, it's connected to the back. But what intrigues me is this film. You must see that these two things or objects are enveloped by this object. And this is how I start. I go, okay, so if I see two objects enveloped by an object, but has a passage going into the darkness and downwards at the back, run. That's what I say. Run. This is constructed.
I know,
And
right? Run.
yeah, and it's not even the scary part, because the scary part is that they didn't have tools to do that. But wait a minute. So now I'm going to back you up. Now we're going to back up. We're going to a direct newscast is somewhere in time that I did hear myself, and I heard the guy say that it's amazing, but we are finding Mayan ruins that have tools that are far beyond our knowledge of wisdom. How can that be? How can somebody who eats the lice out of their head while they're walking around and banging and dragging their wife by? Remember, we were told as kids that that's why I believe violence exists today. That stone cavemen were dragging their wives around by the hair. So I
Right.
mean, all this bull crap we're hearing about.
You know,
Come on.
and again, the other possibility where this takes us to is maybe the human, race, the human species, and I say we're all the same. We're all genetically the same, right?
That's
It
right.
is the idea that maybe there is something to what these people are saying. I would take my my Christian background. I'm very loyal to my Christian faith, and I look at that and I say, what this speaks to the wonder of God's, that He would create something that could create something like this, right? Maybe
Absolutely.
we're way more powerful than we ever imagined.
And I like that. I like that faith of you in the Christianity religion. I think it's wonderful.
But there are many people that say, many different angles that come at it and say that you're way more. The human spirit, the human system is far and away more powerful than you've ever even been allowed to imagine, right? And
Absolutely.
and if I let myself imagine that humans made this, just for a second, I'm going to, right? It could be
Yeah,
totally wrong, but it gives me the hope that maybe someday we can reach that Star Trek future. I really want to see that happen.
I do too. That's well said, man. And it's beautiful what you said, and it's exactly my feelings inside. I want to see this. I want to have that right. But you know what? I think the person that found out this was up there was the greediest person probably in the world. We're just speculating. We're going through hypotheses.
We're just trying to shake each other loose a little bit so that we can say goodbye to each other. And because now I'm kind of afraid to let you go because I just want to stay with you for a while.
Yeah, just wait till my son gets back, okay? That's what I feel like saying, because
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly right.
it freaks me out. It
But no,
really does.
back to your point though, yeah. So it's this
When I change the photo, it really takes away your concentration. I can't see. Look at this. It's like,
I
we
know
can
this
just
is
not talk
this
and
is
show this stuff. I mean, this is
compared to what we were looking at a year ago when we first met, right? It's like,
it's
oh,
how things have changed.
yes, they have.
But
But again,
now,
one of the things that we see, kind of in that prophetical discussion, that eschatological discussion in many religions, right, is that they said that there would come a time when all things would be revealed, right? Even Jesus,
right,
Yeshua said that, right? That there would be
right.
a time where no secret would be hidden. And here we are. I feel like we're uncovering a huge secret.
Well, who says that it's not God or Jesus himself working his magic by showing
The
the
truth.
world what is up there through everyone together? Maybe he wants us to sound it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and let's just stick with this theme and just put the character of Jesus to the side for a second. He said
Yeah,
the truth would set us free. I believe that. So if this is the truth and this is really what it is, right?
yeah.
Then it's kind of incumbent upon us, if we really want to be free, then we got to accept it as truth, right?
That's what I think. I think that's well said.
So all I'm saying, guys, is that the truth, just because it doesn't fit, this kind of mundane, matrixy, world system view that we've been trained to, look at, doesn't mean it's not true, right? And this
That's
is
right.
fantastic stuff. So cognitive dissonance is going to just kick in right away, right? I get it. I totally get it. But let's just try to keep our eyes wide open at what we're seeing here and just consider the implications. Bruce.
I totally agree. It's well said. And, you know, I'm open-minded, and you are too. We have to be. The scientists, it's not for nothing. Like, this is true. The astronauts, some of them weren't religious, I heard back in the days, because they wanted someone that was neutral, that had its head neutral, and that would not react so long what he was instructed or what he learned about in religion. So it goes to show that, you know, that told me something, you know, that because of religion, we're all bound together, and we're trying to do good. You know, everyone's Steve. This is a structure.
Oh, dude, it's like there. You could look at it in another way, and it's a big, humongous, like Yeti beast too. I mean,
It could be anything. That's the thing, eh? And the worst of it is that when I see this, often, is it lying down or is it a yard? And this happens to me all the time now. Is this object towering, or is this object on the ground and very low? Like, this could be up, or this could all be lying down. And
regardless of what perspective debate we might have on that and the way we look at it, it's just like the way we look at clouds. What's very undisputable is that it's an artificial object.
there you go. And that's all I'm trying to show. Absolutely. And they are. And here again, like Bianchini Crater, all in this, again, more structuring. And see here, these are structures, but they look like snow or smudges because they're white. Our eyes are not interested in this. Even here, like, I don't even mention this, but there's structures there too. It's just not pleasant to look at. There's structuring. And these are huge objects that are here and there and everywhere on the photos, and here too. The people aren't, a lot of people don't realize, just don't see it. But that looks like, to me, like an observatory tower or something.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me too, or some type of a water tower, pressure tower, who knows, right?
Yeah, but I'm seeing this shape, that shape. Let's zoom in just a little bit. This shape right here, I am seeing that on top of mountainous areas. So
Observatory does start to feel like maybe a potential, or maybe just an ideal spot for some type of an antenna array, or who knows, right?
yeah, exactly. Here's all out. We're really close on it. It's another photo that's close, but I really appreciate the photo.
All right,
because
so here, let's role play, right? So I'm NASA director in 1965, and you're Neil Armstrong, okay? All right,
Perfect.
Neil. So we can't tell the public that we're going to set you down right in the middle of this construction yard. I just want you to be aware of the fact that you're going to see some really big structures.
No problem.
You can never tell anybody that, okay?
No problem. You'll be compensated. Yeah, right.
These guys went through a mind screw. Oh my God! Can you imagine having to hold on to this? Oh,
must have been crazy. You see, I wanted to do a video. I swear, if ever I get a spacesuit, I need someone else to get a spacesuit, and we have to do that. I want to sit in a capsule and have a screen there with just my footage going by, and just everything that Neil could have said, seeing things on the moon. I mean, these guys must have been wearing diapers. They must have.
How high off the surface of the moon? They were like 80 miles, I think, or 60 miles. They didn't have to be that far off the surface.
Well, that's the thing, eh? That's the other curious question.
Orbit. So here you are alone in the command module, and the two guys go down to the surface, and you're alone for a week in the command module for 5 days or whatever it is, right? Can you imagine how terrifying that would be? God, looking down and seeing all these big structures and everything floating.
I can't.
Oh my God.
And say to yourself, every light or every object you see go by is new to you. And it's an object that looks like I don't know, garbage that's alive. And it's coming all over the place. You know, we saw it in the tether video. They talk about the tether video. Those objects, it reminded me of, I don't know, the silverfish you see at a public shower or something. Because it's so.
If you're not familiar, maybe I can. While you're talking about it, maybe I can put my hands on it. I think I actually put that in a reuse file of one that I can get my hands on real quick here. So, let's see if we can get footage here.
Absolutely,
it's crazy stuff right there.
It is. It is. And so, you know what? What scared me?
Let me explain what the tether footage is, and then you can continue. But he was talking about.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. so the tether footage was back in during the shuttle flights, they wanted to experiment with generating electricity from a tether that they had to suspend from the shuttle, right? It's like about I don't know, it was a mile long or something. It was like a big tether. And what they were basically going to do is they were going to sweep the ionosphere and generate electricity with it, see how much they'd get. Okay? And I can't put my hands right on it. Sorry, guys. But anyway, we'll just keep looking at Bruce's pictures. But anyway, they sent this tether out, and a lot of people have seen this footage. What happened was it basically exploded off the side of the shuttle because so much electricity voltage went through it, it just basically fried it out. And the tether was floating off into space to show you how much power is in the magnetosphere. And the sun was hitting it in such a way that you could see this tether. And all of a sudden, these like little starfish-like things start coming up to it, which would have been like a mile long. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the level of crazy that these moon photos are, by the way. You're in that level. Like, if that's like the number 10 level of crazy that we see in space, you are at number 10 tonight, my friend.
It's nuts. It is. And I so appreciate you letting me share these with you, Steve, and with your amazing community. Everyone has to see this, man. And, you know, they can do what they want with the information about it. But
Right.
it's real. It's real stuff. Look at this, bro. This is Bianchini crater right here. It's even smaller. And this is Sinus iridum. And this is in Marimbrium. We could see the surface that's there. That the greenery really has grown around these structures. It must be a haven. It could be a haven. It really looks like a haven up there.
Like an
Like,
oasis of some sort,
pardon me?
like an oasis almost.
Yeah. But do you see how it looks like it's all branches, or I call it branches, but hamburger meat. Hamburger meat that just went through the grinder that comes out, all the filaments of meat one beside the other. Like, look at it. It's just continuous lines and lines and lines. And we can see that everywhere on the entire surface. That's always what we see. But because there's so many objects, it's giving us a flat surface. It's giving most of the cameras a smooth view. Like NASA says, Mare Serenitatis is so smooth, like Plato Crater. It's filled with buildings and structures. There's nothing smooth on the surface of the moon, that's for sure.
Is to photograph this when it's not in that very thin band of light like you've achieved to do with this. It would just white out and it would look smooth. It would look like Salt Lake, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But when you think of it, those, not to change the subject, but those chemtrails too, there's so much going on. You know, when you're looking at it, what's going on in deep space, I am finding things in the constellations, but I'll soon be starting that back up, Steve, and I'll be.
No, in fact, look for emails from us. There's a couple of things that we're starting to zero in on, and just give you a heads up that, and just so everybody can hear, we're starting to zero in as an audience. We're starting to come together. Our collaboration's getting better, and we're starting to be able to say, okay, it's in Cassiopeia. Whatever Bill saw, it's in Cassiopeia. We're going to start sending you that so that if you get a chance to go out and observe during those times or whatever, that we can get your 14-inch on it and just continue to build stronger networking like that, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, of course, and it's contributions from both our ends, man. We're helping each other. It's a part of my information can go on your channel so that your community members can see it, and I find it pretty cool that I'm able to interact with you and a lot of your community members, bro. On my channel, I have a lot of them.
Yeah, your subscribers are definitely, very, very good questions, very, attentive, involved, and just, we're all just seeking the truth, right? You guys, we're not trying to rewrite the history books, but, it's kind of like this feeling I was getting today. I was seeing a lot of things that were really hitting my cognitive dissonance button today,
Well, yeah,
it's really hard, man. And I had to sit back for a second, and it was almost, I had to pray for a minute. I just had to meditate, pray, just sit down and chill for a minute. And what was coming to me was, don't be frantic, but you have to let the data lead you. You can't let your own, you can't let your own mind lead you. And I was reminded of that, right? And so I
That's well.
started to look at the data again and let the data lead me. And it leads you into places that when you look at this and the other things that we're seeing in the skies these days, that again, we're living in a cosmos that maybe we haven't gotten all the truth about. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But we've gotten a part, we've gotten a part of it. And I'm so thankful for the people that do keep their faith and
But
that
I'm not
can
going to be a
still.
victim either, right? I don't want to sit here and say, "Oh, well, look, poor me. I never got the truth." Blah blah blah.
Right.
Instead of sitting in a pile of victim stink,
Yeah,
I'm going to
maybe
just
we
say,
have to earn it, man.
I got a
Maybe-
telescope. I got a friend in Canada with a telescope. I can go outside and take pictures, right? I don't need to rely on NASA to see space.
That's right. Exactly. These are the ones that look like Mayans, man. That this is mesmerizing for me. Tunnels going in and out of areas, long paths, bridges, and look at this. The straightest object on the moon you'd ever see. It's just incredible. And they're all there. And this here, this cloud cover. So there's more here. You can be sure that all this is structuring too, but there's a lot of cloud cover. But look at the back here. Isn't that incredible? How could this even be natural?
No,
Impossible.
you showed this to me from a different angle one time. I remember
Yeah.
this particular crater or area of the crater. Yeah, I remember this. But
I tried to clarify the back a bit more now, and now this is the area I clarified. We're almost sitting in a restaurant there, basically.
right?
That's how close it is. But
Iced tea for me.
yeah, oh gosh, and hey, bro, you're lucky. I was able to show you that. Listen, I'm working on this. These are the little structures on the bridge. You know the bridge? We're on it.
It looks like from this perspective, it looks like a catacomb of holes in it.
Yeah, and that's on the bridge. That bridge, that structure, that's not in here. This is a small piece. The bridge is this whole area here. It's going off that way, and we can see the structuring on it.
Can you imagine the first day of work there? Right, you come walking in. Where's the bathroom, man?
Bathroom. Oh my gosh! I mean, probably twice as much people up there than here. And you know what really freaks me out? I really just feel like sometimes I just really feel like the moon is just regular people like us. But what if they're only in 1987? Or what if each planet is every 10 years ahead, that they're testing all of us? Oh, look what happened in the future. They died. Okay, go back to Earth quick, because in 20 years they're going to do the same thing as planet whatever over there did. And they're testing us. They're sticking us on these planets, and they're okay. So how do we bring them water? Just stick a cloud. Just stick cloud over the planet, and just we wet them. And okay, so
I know, right?
I mean, literally, just like we're. How can I say? I keep very confident that since they would be an intelligent race, they would not be probably wanting to hurt us, even if they were eating us. I say to myself, if they're eating us, we're going to go up there and it's like, pow, you're out. They eat you. You're not going to feel anything. So I'm not so worried about bad choice. I should have chosen the eating part, but I've been thinking about that.
Then you talk to some of the people that we mix with, and it's like there's all kinds of stories about them eating negative energy and things like that too. And again,
Yeah,
it's like I back off and I say, like, we're writing some science fiction together. We're just imagining and speculating.
Yeah.
Return right back to the fact we have an image on the moon on a structure with little honeycomb patterns of holes in it. That's the fact. That's all I can tell you are the facts right now.
Yeah. It's something that was constructed that we have no idea what it is. And the black object, so long me, could be the holes, or even more funny, the black objects could be the structures. Oh no, Steve. What if those black objects are the creatures?
That's what I was just thinking. I saw it right when you said it. I was thinking the same thing.
We both got a vision. We saw the same thing.
I saw the same exact thing when you said it. What if those are the actual beings walking around down there?
Yeah, the smudge UFOs. So now what I'm going to do is that every moon phase, I'm always going to be, I only have a year and a half of footage. So, well, it's a lot, but after 2 years, I will be comparing the footage. If ever we go back, what would happen if there was a chip here and this wall was down? We would see it. It's a lot to look at, but I will be looking at some of the major common craters. And why am I doing the common ones? Because people will, I'll have more credibility doing Copernicus, Plato crater, the craters that everyone knows. Instead of saying I'm in some crater in the north, it's hard to see. I want to do the easy craters. And the UFOs, I don't have to run after them.
Oh no, well, and everybody can see the many of these craters you're talking about with their own, telescopes very easily, or or high magnification cameras. So it's like people can be on the same page with you real easy. I love that idea. And
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, well, Bruce, man, you've never failed to amaze us, and every time you escalate, it's like you escalated again on us, and you're sharing stuff that, quite frankly, I mean, this is risky stuff to be sharing, and I give you all the credit in the world for your courage to bring it to the world, man.
I love you, man, for it, and I'm really happy we connected, bro. We went how many weeks, how many months or weeks that we did not talk to each other, and it's just because we were busy, man. You came back, you say, and this is not the first time we try, but I mean, there's a lot going on in your end, bro. I love you, and there was a lot now on mine, but all you have to do is call me up tomorrow, Bruce. No, that's what we did. You said Monday. I said no, too late. Tuesday, yes. We do
Yeah.
that anytime, man. No matter where you are, even if we lose contact for years, you call me up for an interview and we do this. But don't wait too long because you're gonna fall in your butt, man. Because I'm gonna be finding a lot more stuff there with a
Oh
14.
no, we're going to try to get back to the. I'd like to, again, we talked about when before all the tragedy struck in our home, in our house, and in all the things that happened.
Of
You and I
course.
we're going to do every Tuesday night, and I'd like to, maybe we'll set that as a goal this summer. Is that we'll try to do it. We'll do a little catch up and update as you are able to get outside more with the telescope, and you know,
Anytime you're ready, man.
yeah, we support Bruce's channel, you guys. We support his work. He's a brave creator. This takes a lot of guts to share this stuff, you guys. I don't know if you know, but this is definitely not something that the powers that be want us to know about, right? I mean, so let's pray for Bruce. That's number one. Number two, support Bruce, right? Go to his channel, send him a couple bucks, man. I mean, help him out. And he's been using it all for his telescope equipment and trying to put this stuff together. And then also, just be aware that if you lose Bruce on YouTube for a little while, for whatever reason, wink, wink, you can always go to his website, which will also be linked below. Bruce, any final words, thoughts?
Amen. I tell you, man, I love you. We have fun together all the time, and I'm really happy to have met someone that wants to show the world what's out there, man. Because this is real stuff. And thanks for letting me speak, man. Thanks for letting me show my stuff, and you know that your community is always welcome on my channel, man. We got to do this again real soon, Steve.
All right. Well, we'll be in touch. Everybody have a good night. Bruce, good night, and take care, everybody.